You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast,
delivering player experience news.
Let's go! What's up, guys, and welcome to Podcast PXN, episode 259. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Prindle, aka Dan is DTM on Twitter, and I am joined over Discord by the Nintendo aficionado and artist extraordinaire, Roshan Warner at Roro.
Hello. 2 more months until Arcane. You were singing the theme song. Now it's stuck in my head, but I'm so excited.
I was singing the theme to my miseries.
Oh my god. I wonder if they'll change the theme song. Like if they got a new band or a new Imagine Dragons song. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Good
I
point.
hope so.
We shall see. The host of Large Popcorn and video producer at The Gamer, Christian Macias, is off this week, but he has been in the chat, so you might see him. You might see him in the chat there. And, of course, the reclaimed Tarkov Teletubby and fellow Spartan, Gage Dempster at Gilbo Biggins.
I think we're gonna go back to reformed Tarkov Teletubby, or we're done with Tarkov again.
Oh,
Tarkov is no more. It's a dumb game for dumb people. We're not playing Tarkov anymore.
For now. Okay, I changed it to reformed. Or, I don't even know, is reformed? I don't know.
It sounded good in my head, but maybe it's not the right word.
Okay. Well, we can figure that out at a later date, you know?
We'll workshop it.
Yeah, exactly. And what else are we going to workshop? We're going to workshop every single person who is watching us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on youtube.com/@podcastpxn and twitch.tv/podcastpxn as well. Guys, the topic of the show this week is the PlayStation 5 Pro has been announced. And how much is it? We're going to find out right now as we dive in to the topic of the show. Starting off, the PS5 Pro is coming November 7th, with pre-orders starting September 26th. And guys, you might be asking, what prices are we getting? And I am very excited to announce that it will be... just kidding. It will be $699.99 in the United States, $959.99 in Canada, and other territories even more expensive, $699.99 in Europe, 119,980 yen in Japan. It is not a cheap console. Not a cheap console.
It is not.
Especially once you account for the actual promised sort of performance gains, which seem to be kind of hit or miss. Not even guaranteed 60 frames on a lot of the games. Like, it's just... This is...
Oh, we will
this
get
is
there.
a lot.
We will get there, Gage. Not even 60 frames. But we have details. You're looking for the deets. Here they are. The details, it comes with a 2 terabyte SSD with no disk drive, compatible with all PS5 accessories, which that's kind of a weird bullet point. Of course, it should fucking work with all your PS5 accessories. If it didn't, I would be quite pissed. It is built with the goal to now play games in their quality graphics modes at 60 FPS instead of needing performance mode. This is Sony's words. An upgraded GPU, which has 67% more compute units than the PS5, 28% faster memory, and 45% faster rendering. It also has advanced ray tracing with 2 to 3 times faster ray casting to provide better reflections and lighting. It will have AI upscaling, which is PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PSSR for short, which uses machine learning to to provide super sharp image clarity. So similar to FSSR that AMD has and NVIDIA's DLSS. It has a PS5 game boost mode, which can automatically stabilize or improve the performance of 8500 backwards compatible PS4 games, enhance IQ and resolution on select PS4 games. Some PlayStation 5 Pro enhanced games have been announced as well, which I'll talk about those in just a minute. And also some logistical comparisons. It is the same size as the original PS5. It does come with a DualSense, and it will also have Wi-Fi 7 as well built into the console. So all those details. Any of those details have you guys excited before we talk about the games aspect of it?
For $1,000? I don't know.
For
It,
Sorry,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Please.
Okay. For $1,000 with no disk drive and no vertical stand, which the original PS5 launched with both of those, and well, obviously the one version did, and even like people have been comparing the prices of like previous console generations. Jeff Keighley, sometimes I've said this before, sometimes Jeff gets a little bit up PlayStation's sometimes. And I think he did here because he got fucking roasted by community notes on Twitter here. He posted a rundown of PlayStation 1 to PS5 prices and was comparing them. And he chose to do the standard PS5 and comparing that to the PS5 Pro base model. So, number one, he wasn't comparing it to the digital PS5, which you would think that would benefit it because he's comparing it to a more expensive console. However, he's only comparing the version that doesn't have a disk drive and doesn't have the vertical stand that the launch PS5 had. So you add all of those things up, and the total is actually $809.97 in today's dollars if you include the vertical stand and the disk drive. And comparing that to the PlayStation 5, which launched at $606 in today's dollars, it's adjusted for inflation. So over $200 more for this console in today's dollars when compared to the PlayStation 5 at launch is kind of insane to me.
Especially for a mid-generation refresh, right? Like, the PS6 is maybe, 2-3 years away? Like, for all we know, the PlayStation 6 could show up in 2.5 years, and it's another $800. Like, this is a lot of money. And I wonder, I don't know if you guys are thinking this too, is this maybe something that was locked in and sealed when Jim Ryan was CEO? Is this the last little goodbye present from good old Jim Ryan?
Nice little goodbye present. Oh my gosh. It's possible. Like it's such a weird decision that it would make sense that it was his doing. But I have a question about the PS5 game boost that can automatically stabilize or improve performance of 8,000 games. Doesn't like the PS5 does that right now, right? The regular one, or is that not true?
I don't think it does, because Xbox Series X does. It has the what's it called, FPS boost. Yeah,
Okay.
but I don't think the standard PS.
The regular one does.
But that's a great point, though, Ro. Why the fuck couldn't that boost PS4 games? Like it's a way more powerful machine than the PS4.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know, but I guess we have to pay an extra that much for it. But I don't know. I'm obviously not the audience for this, but I've even seen people who are the audience for this still be shocked at the price, and like it not including the disk drive obviously is weird for the price. Is like just toss it in, just include it at this point, and the stand as well. Yeah, it's just it just feels weird. Like you guys are saying, it's like a mid-gen thing, and it's not that big of a. Again, I'm not the audience. To me, it doesn't seem like it's that big of a jump to warrant the console at all. But I could be wrong. Like maybe wait a little bit longer, do a little bit more. I don't know. It just seems early to me, and I know we're kind of deep in the PS. Like Gage was saying, the PS6 might be 2 to 3 years from now, which sounds crazy to me, but it's true. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about this one.
Yeah. God, I forgot my thought. I was gonna answer what you were just saying, and I literally just blanked. Holy shit.
What else what is on the PS5 dock here? What's next?
Let's see. Yes, I games are what I was gonna talk about next. I was gonna add something to what you said, and I completely just blanked on it, and I don't know what the fuck I was gonna say. Anyways, it probably wasn't that important. Fuck. All right. So talking about the games that have been enhanced for PlayStation 5 Pro, Alan Wake 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Demon's Souls, Dragon's Dogma 2, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Gran Turismo 7, Hogwarts Legacy, Horizon Forbidden West, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, The Crew Motorfest, The First Descendant, The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. What the fuck? You just launched Astrobot, which people have been absolutely loving. In my opinion, if you're gonna launch this console, you gotta have brand new games to play on this console, because I'm not gonna go back and play, the Crew Motorfest in fucking 4K 60 frames per second. I could care less. Like, come on. Let's put some new games attached to this. It's just that to me makes zero sense. I can't. God, I don't know.
This is the reason why I floated the idea that this might be a plan put in motion by Jim Ryan, and now they're stuck to it, because it doesn't seem, like you just pointed out, it doesn't seem well thought out. They didn't have anything ready for launch. The new games that they're currently putting out, like Astrobot, it seems like that was made in a vacuum, completely unaware that this other thing was happening. Like The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, come play this awesome cool game that re-released 2 years ago from the game that released 4 years ago. Was Spider-Man on this list?
Spider-Man 2, yes.
Oh, it is on the list. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't hear you go over it. Yeah, it's very strange to me. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand what their strategy is. You'd think that they absolutely would have new games to launch alongside this, or at the very least, their newest games that have launched would benefit from their newest console. But it seems like their decision making is all over the place. And maybe this is what you were gonna say earlier with what Ro was saying, is that PlayStation in general, just Christian has brought this up many times on the podcast. Sometimes it feels like it hasn't even been enough games to justify the regular PS5. Let alone you're now releasing a PS5 Pro in what I would consider to be a dry spot in terms of the PlayStation library. Obviously, recently with Astrobot, this is changing. That was a nice, pleasant surprise. But for the past, we'll say, year, people have been kind of complaining on the PlayStation side, things are a little slow right now. So to me, it's this is the least opportune time to launch a $1,000 mid-gen refresh. But I mean, what do I know?
You saying Jim Ryan's name again triggered my memory of what I was going to say before. So hold on to that a second. I wrote it down so I don't forget it this time. But Christian's been chiming in the chat. I want to read his comments as well. He said, all to still run games at 30 FPS, which we'll talk about that in just a second. Brave of Sony to show off the grass in The Last of Us 2 as one of its marquee PS5 Pro titles, when you have games like Risk of Rain 2 made by two people looking better than anything in the last 5 years. He said it's expensive because COVID inflated tech prices across all industries, and that shit hasn't gone down. Switch 2 is going to be expensive too. I hear you, but I don't think it's going to be... I don't know.
No,
I don't think it's going to be
I don't
anywhere
think
close
so.
to this price, but yeah. They haven't even convinced us to buy the regular PS5.
Yeah.
Incredible.
God.
Um,
Jesus.
and then Keurig is in the chat as well. Thank you, Keurig.
Keurig.
He also says it's a no deal from me. I upgraded my PC last year for 1,600 Canadian dollars. Dang. Yes, but that's more, but it at least has a disk drive and smokes the PS5 Pro. Of course. Okay, back to what we were talking about in terms of price and Jim Ryan's PlayStation and everything. I think this is also indicative of Sony wanting to continue the trend of them making a profit off of their consoles now. And I feel like this is probably something we're going to see from Microsoft as well, because games are getting so expensive now, and they're no longer subsidizing their consoles with game sales anymore. It's essentially becoming a bigger risk for them. So now I feel like more than ever, we're going to see prices like this, like Christian alluded to. Hardware prices, I think, will go up because they're more concerned about the software sales not making up for that loss that they previously in past generations would have made up for in software sales. So that is a little concerning. Like, if this is $699, what's next gen look like here in a few years when we have the next Xbox, the next PlayStation, or even next year with the Switch 2? What do we have to look forward to, like, in pricing? It's going to be a little scary.
Yeah, I hope Nintendo doesn't follow suit, like with the Switch 2. And I feel, I mean, I don't know. It's like I saw this and Wii U was so long ago, but I saw this funny meme where it was like you can get 4 Wii U's for the price of one PS4 or PS5 Pro or something like that. And I hope when the Switch 2 comes out, I can get 2 Switches for the price of, something equivalent. But yeah, it is scary to think that these things are getting more and more expensive. And I see a lot of people saying that no one's forcing you to buy it, which is true. And these are luxury items, which I understand. But comparative to PC gaming, these have always been the easier entry point. And with them becoming closer and closer to PCs, it's like, what's the point? Just get a PC at this point. And it's starting to get closer and closer to that, where just do the PC gaming at this point.
Yeah,
which that's going to suck for the console makers, because then they're going to be competing with a completely another market again, because right now they're just competing with themselves. But if PC is added to that, then it's going to be harder for them.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting thing as we move forward. Like you said, as these consoles continue to get closer to being a PC, like what that looks like in the future, if they end up making PC stuff work on these consoles, and it's just kind of like a secondary nature. I don't know. Like, they're going to make consoles and PC. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Of course, we have friend of the show, Guy, in the chat, too. Hello, Guy. He says, this is why Sony is shutting down smaller studios and was a mistake, because smaller games release faster and fill in the gaps. He also said, first time in my life, I'm more excited about what Xbox has coming out than with PlayStation, which that's fair. Xbox has a lot more games that are announced as of this moment. And yeah, Sony needs to start announcing some stuff here that's coming in the next 12 months. We don't really have a lot on that right now. A good point, Christian. OLED Switch is, well, okay. I see what you mean by saying that. He said 11-year-old hardware is almost $300. It's comparable to 11-year hardware, but yeah, I see what you mean. It's in a handheld form factor, but yeah. Got it. Hopefully Switch 2 is not too expensive. Jeez. That would suck. All right. So as we've been alluding to this entire time, we also have information from Tom Warren that, as he reported earlier this year, the PS5 Pro enhanced games doesn't mean that they guarantee 60 FPS. Sony wasn't clear on this yesterday, but there will still be 30 FPS PS5 Pro enhanced games. And actually, Digital Foundry even came out and said they're pretty sure that Grand Theft Auto 6 is still only going to run at 30 FPS on the PS5 Pro, which, if you're touting this console as like a performance machine to basically buy it for the performance, then you have to make it so that developers are either encouraged or forced. I know that forced sounds bad, but like you have to make it so that the developers are actually making it a performance console, because if you're not, I don't see what the added value of that $699 is.
Right. It's funny. That was one of the caveats I remember mentioning in a previous episode, that like with GTA 6 around the corner, that is something that if they wanted to have an ace up their sleeve, that's something huge that I think would push a lot of people to maybe even consider it, just because of the size of GTA 6 and how that's going to be like an event in this sort of gaming space. So the fact that Digital Foundry, who if there's anybody that knows their stuff when it comes to hardware and performance, it's Digital Foundry. So the fact that they're saying that this isn't going to be, not to get your hopes up for it, man, like that was the one thing that PlayStation really could have used to get people in their corner to even consider something like this. So the fact that they're, thinking that that's not the case, that's tough. That's tough for PlayStation.
Very interesting. Keurig says maybe they can put Master Chief on it to really make it worth it. You know what? That might actually happen. You know, might actually be happening. Who knows? Those rumors are true. All right. So yeah, on the back of all this shit and drama with pricing, before their event of the PS5 Pro, Sony also quietly, they didn't announce this, they quietly increased the price of the PS5 DualSense controller by $5 in the US this week. So the controllers are now $75 instead of $70, which is insane to me. I still can't believe controllers cost that much. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like such a... And sometimes, like the collector's edition controllers, I understand.
Yeah.
But like the basic ones,
Right.
like I gotta resort to Mad Cats now and like the games licensed controllers at this point. Like these are like necessities to play the console, the games.
Right.
But I understand like these are the technology is getting even better in these controllers, so I understand them pricing them higher. But like the sneaky price hike is like a little. I don't like it. Like they're already expensive, and you didn't have to do that. Especially $5. Like if you're gonna do it, hey, don't listen to me. But if you're gonna do it, at least do it. Like raise it. Don't do these these little sneaky things. It's like it's just being annoying at this point.
Yes, absolutely. Guy points out that that's because the refresh controller has more battery life. Yes, they did release that with more battery life, but that was literally earlier this year. That was like early this year. So it's not like they just released it and then, hey, we're increasing it $5 because it's better battery life. That was a while ago. And like, I don't know. In my opinion, the DualSense battery life was awful. And like, you know, I haven't experienced the new one, obviously. But compared to my Xbox controller, which I don't have to plug in I play a lot of Halo Infinite, as everyone knows, and I don't have to plug in my Xbox controller for like multiple days. And if I have like a really long session on Astrobot, for instance, on PS5, I've got to charge my controller because it's already less than 1 bar of battery left, and I'm like, all right, that kind of sucks. Which I get it. Not everyone's playing that long of a session, but it is like, I don't know. I feel like the extra battery life is kind of like warranted for that controller. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, they raised the price because they decided to fix their bad battery life.
Right.
It's like they
Right.
should have launched that way.
Right.
For sure. Christian says, got to be the tech in them. Joy-Cons still $90 too. Holy shit, I didn't know that. Fuck.
That's true. Buying one of those is expensive, let alone
Yeah.
a pack of two.
Which that is fair. In all fairness, the DualSense has a lot more cool technology and capabilities
Right.
than the Xbox controller, to be completely fair. Yeah. 100%. Keurig says, what are the total things that Sony has raised the price on the console and pulled the stand and disk drive, the PSN subscription, and anything else? Of course, as we just talked about, the controller as well for $5 more. Games went up this generation $10, but that was everyone. But yeah, it is a lot of things going up, inflation, and yeah, not good. Not good. Okay, so we may be wondering what everyone in the world is thinking right now about this. You know, we've given our thoughts about this, but the internet is, you know, the de facto answer here. The internet, IGN had posted a poll on their website that says, is the PS5 Pro reasonably priced at $699.99? And a resounding 73.8% of people said it's way too expensive. Way too expensive. Not just a little expensive. Then a little too expensive was 18.9% of users. So almost 91% of users responding to this say it's too expensive.
Right.
5.2% said it was about right. 0.4% thought it would cost a bit more, which, all right. 0.5% said I thought it would be way more, which, all right. But 58,000 people voted on that. That's pretty insane. Like an insane majority saying like, no, this is too expensive. But there was also more. There's also another IGN poll with looks like 48,000 votes that asked, will you buy a PS5 Pro? And again, 85.7% of people said no to that. And then I was like, I wonder what other audiences are thinking about this. Jeff Keighley posted a poll after PlayStation's event, 91,500 votes, and 67.3% of people said that they got a D or below for their grade for it. 16 for C, 9 for B, 7 for A. And then Tom Warren. These are all, I like these all next to each other because they're all very different groups and different like audiences. So Tom Warren posted, are you going to buy a PS5 Pro? 24,900 votes and 88% of people said no. So clearly a lot of dissatisfaction with the price and the offering of the PS5 Pro.
Yeah, if we were to go by these polls, it would seem like Sony is in for a rough launch of this console. However, I was talking with a friend of the show, Guy, about this, and I do worry that when this thing releases, the FOMO will take over, and you might have people buying it up, and people realizing that, oh, it's out of it's out of stock, it must be popular, and then it just starts flying off the shelf. I worry about that because I would like for Sony to not be rewarded for this type of behavior and this sort of ridiculous price precedent that they're, again, setting now. We have no idea what how far away the PS6 is, but if this is what they're already doing. So I would like for this to come out and for these polls to be indicative of like how the consumer will react when it launches. But
Yeah.
a part of me does worry. I get worried that we might have another situation where these things start flying off the shelves and getting resold at even higher prices.
This is going to sound diabolical, but hear me out.
Okay.
So I was fucking furious with them when they released the Spider-Man PS5 plates, and then they literally sold out instantly. They made like what 20,000 of them, or I don't know, a very small amount of them, and then they sold the console. What are the chances that they do something similar here and they purposely manufacture a small amount of PS5 Pros to generate interest because people are seeing them sold out all the time, and B, you're also looking at that and you're like, well, shit, I really need this console now. Like all the retailers are sold out. I've gotta have this fucking thing.
Must be popular.
Yeah,
Must be popular, right?
Exactly. Like it's interesting. It's interesting to think about as an option for them because they're also looking in the back of their head and they're like, this is an enthusiast console. Like there's not going to be like super high demand for this console anyways. So if we manufacture slightly less, we're not going to really hurt our bottom line, so to speak. Right. But they may end up helping themselves if they do that, which is sad, like you said, because I don't know.
I think the same, I could be wrong, but I think the same thing that you guys are talking about where they manufacture less happened, like you said, with the plates, but I think didn't something similar happen with the Portal, the PlayStation Portal?
Yes.
Where we're like, who's gonna buy this shit? And then it was like selling out and we're like, who is buying this shit?
Right.
And it did what you guys are saying, like people were like, why is this selling out? Do people like this? Am I the crazy one?
Yeah.
And I don't know if that ended up working in their favor where people saw that and ended up buying more PS Portals, but I think you guys may be onto something, or that's like PlayStation strategy, I guess. But
that's a really good point. I didn't even think of that, and I just looked it up. The PlayStation Portal has sold between 420,000 and 630,000 since launch last November. So, yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah. What the heck?
Huh.
Jim Ryan.
Jim Ryan, you bastard.
Interesting. Jerome is saying, let's hope the scalpers buy them all up. What the heck, Jerome? You want people to pay way more for these? What?
They buy them all up and they sell them at high prices, but nobody buys it from them.
That would be great.
It's like,
right.
That's the real winners when we get to watch the scalpers waste all their money. Oh, God. Incredible. All right, so my last question. Did Sony give us a reason to actually want this console? Tom Warren, I linked one of his posts again. He said, I think Sony could have done a much better job at unveiling the PS5 Pro. The 9-minute presentation felt rushed and lacked deep tech details combined with underwhelming game comparisons. If you want people to buy a $700 console, you really have to show more. So yeah, and other people were saying, like, why didn't you get like Digital Foundry or somebody to do a deep tech dive on some of these games and report those findings? And like, that's also great points. Like you're not getting these technical experts that would very much be pushing that console.
You think there's a reason they didn't get these technical experts to get their hands on it? Like, when a game has a review embargo that's like suspiciously close to the launch and you're like, okay, I wonder why this is happening. I don't know. I think I think PlayStation hasn't given us a reason. People want games from PlayStation right now. That's what they're worried about. So when you offer up a product that plays the lack of games they currently have slightly better, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think they've given people a reason. They haven't given me a reason. If speaking for myself, they have not given me a reason to get the PS5 Pro at all, not even a little bit. But I wonder again how the fan base will respond to this.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. When I see these consoles like this, the upgrade consoles, when I see the comparisons, it's unrealistic. But I'm always looking for like like old gen, like I'm trying to think of an example, like The Last of Us remastered from PS3. Like that's the type of comparisons that I'm expecting to see sometimes, and that might be a little too crazy. Maybe PS3 to PS4, not even not the remake to remaster. That's crazy. But when they were showing the Spider-Man 2 to the Spider-Man 2 between PS4 and PS Pro, is like I'm not seeing anything.
Right.
But again, I said it before, I'm not really the audience for this thing. I'll play games that look bad as long as they are fun, and I'm sure everybody feels that way. But yeah, they haven't given me a reason to buy the PS5 Pro. All that to say.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think they have a long way to go to convince people to buy this, and I think it's going to be even more enthusiasts than normal these mid-gen console updates already are. Like, I think this is going to be very, very niche. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Before we close out the topic of the show, Jerome says, it's an improvement over the base model, sure, but anybody who wants a PS5 pretty much has one and can get one. There's no reason to buy that just to play existing games. Get a PC or wait for PS6. And that's a great point.
A great point. Excellent point.
All right, guys. That is the topic of the show. So let's back up a little bit. All right. I don't know what that sound was. We don't have any news of the week items this week because we had so much in the topic of the show, and we're going to dive into the quick bites here. So, jumping into the quick bites, the first quick bite is welcome back to the Go Fuck Yourself special, ladies and gentlemen. Gage already teased that line, and here it is. The Go Fuck Yourself special is back, and it is coming from Chris Deering, the former boss of PlayStation, who does not believe that the recent widespread layoffs in the game industry derive from corporate greed and that affected workers should just go drive an Uber or go to the beach for a year until things turn around.
Jesus Christ. Are you kidding?
No, I'm not. I wish I was kidding.
I know. I'm reading the source right now as you're talking about this.
Yeah.
Wow. Incredible.
Yeah. I mean, just go drive an Uber, Gage. What's wrong?
Go to the beach for a whole year.
Yeah.
Just go to the beach for a whole year. That is a regular recommendation that regular people give to one another.
Yeah.
God.
I don't even know what to add to this.
There's just nothing in his head.
This is like some Succession ass line that somebody on Succession would say. Go to the beach for a year.
Really,
I don't know.
Okay, sure.
What does that even mean?
It's like Kendall saying that.
Right, exactly.
Go to the beach for you.
It's something that Tom would tell Greg. Go to the beach for a year.
Oh God. All right. But yes, that's the past. Moving forward, the current Sony CFO, Hiroki Totoki, has said that he wants more new IP fostered by PlayStation. Whether it's for games, films, or anime, we don't have that much IP that we fostered from the beginning. It's leading PlayStation fans to become nostalgic for classics like Infamous and Sly Cooper. So they want more new IP, I guess. But, if people are
giving an example of IP that they have that they're not currently using.
Yeah.
As you were reading this in my head, I was thinking Infamous, Killzone, Resistance,
right.
all these, you know what I mean? Like SOCOM. Yeah, but sure, I guess new IP is good, even though a lot of those IP have specific genres that PlayStation currently isn't tapping into, and you could just bring those back again, which people are already nostalgic for.
Yeah. First person shooters.
Go to the beach.
Beach. Oh my God.
Just drive an Uber. All right. We're going to drive an Uber to this next quick bite, which is we've gotten some more background on Sony Bend and what happened to Days Gone. And this is for This is from the game's former director, I think, which he's kind of gone on the off the deep end. But we got a lot of information from this, which I found interesting. Of course, we all found interesting. We were talking about it in the chat a little bit. Days Gone 2 apparently not being made was a Studio Bend decision, not a PlayStation decision, which is interesting. John, who's the former director of the game, blamed his game not selling well on discounts and woke reviewers. Okay, John. Sure.
Oh, brother.
But also, Sony made him, John, take anger management classes because of how he treated his staff by his own admission. He still, John, again, harasses Studio Bend every now and then. Ben repeatedly distances themselves from John, and he left Ben to go right for, I don't really give a fuck. I'm not going to name the name because I'm not going to give you exposure. John is being really salty about a Game of the Year contender because it's got a tribute in it for his character, when he's at least partly to blame for the cancellation of said franchise, looking at the previous points. And he is upset about the main character from Days Gone being an Astrobot, which is like, what the fuck? Why are you so upset about that? Like, if you're
imagine being upset that the new hot PlayStation game that everybody's raving about references your character, and that somehow makes you upset.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. It's crazy. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go.
I was just going to say, it's
question for
crazy that Days Gone was, like, I thought it was a Sony decision to not make a sequel, not a Ben decision. So I think that's crazy.
And this guy made it sound like it was when all that stuff was happening. It was like, oh, they don't want my game over there. And they were like throwing other games under the bus at the time. If I remember correctly, it was a weird time. But I was going to ask Gage, how does he feel? I think you enjoyed Days Gone, the original.
I did, and similar to what Dan just said, because this happened over the last week, this has been a roller coaster for me too, because I was also under the impression, as a lot of people were, that it was Sony that decided to kill the Days Gone franchise, or at least, put on hiatus, whatever you want to call it. And I did. I very much enjoyed Days Gone. I think it's a better game than it has a reputation for. But this is mind-boggling. I don't know why something that puts eyes on your franchise, no matter how little, could be something that you would complain about, and then B, why are you picking a fight if you were the one who had a hand in deciding to move away from that direction of doing another one? This just seems, and it's funny that the self-admission of mandatory anger management classes, because this does, just from this little bit that I've learned about this guy, seems like somebody who just wants to be angry and just wants to fight with people, because these decisions, one after another, don't make any sense. I don't know what you're doing. Very, very sad, unfortunately, because I absolutely love Days Gone. The second act in that campaign is I think goes toe to toe with anything that PlayStation has done. There's a lot of stuff there, but man, if this is the type of person that had any sort of sway and control of where that franchise was going, I think it's probably best that it dissolved, and maybe it can come back later at some time under somebody a bit more fucking regular.
Yeah. Probably go back to anger management, John.
Maybe that might be a good place to start. Play some Astrobot, chill out, go to the beach.
That's true, actually. Astrobot is chill. We'll talk about that later. Moving on. Arcane Season 2 trailer is upon us. It is coming in November to Netflix. Oh, let's go.
Let's go.
Hell yeah. Looks good.
It looks fantastic. I almost wish I didn't watch it. There's somebody watching this podcast. I doubt that there's any overlap with what I'm about to say, but if you're watching this podcast and you haven't watched the trailer and you're already excited, I'd almost recommend you don't, because it showed way more than I was expecting. And if you're psychotic like me and watched it even a couple times, I feel pretty confident that I've pretty much pieced together what's going to happen.
Oh no.
I went through that motherfucker frame by frame. I consumed that like a fucking greedy pig, and still very excited. It looks incredible. It looks like we're back for another season of what I consider to be the greatest video game adaptation of all time. I can't wait. I absolutely cannot wait. Ro, what did you think of the trailer?
It was so good. It was so. I didn't finish. I didn't finish watching it because the same reason that you mentioned.
Nice. Good call.
I got to literally 1 minute, the minute mark, where she's like, "Watch it all burn." I was like, "That's enough. That's enough."
Smart man. That's perfect. That's a good time to stop. Yep.
Yeah, but it was. It looks incredible. The animation, of course, is incredible. That team, I forget.
Ortiz.
Insane. Like I cannot believe like it that they're. I mean, obviously the show isn't out yet, but it looks like they're topping what they already did with the first season, which is what I thought was like impossible. But it looks incredible. The characters look so good. I did see Jinx in her new outfit, which I think was near the end of the trailer. But
it definitely was. Yeah.
But yeah, she looks cool. I'm sad because I feel like this is not going to be a happy ending either.
Right.
But I'm excited to see what happens.
For sure.
I haven't seen the leaks either, and I know there's like spoilers rolling around Twitter with that and another anime that I'm looking forward to. But so far so good. And only 2 more months.
Only 2 more months.
Arcane season 2. Let's go.
Let's go.
King Joshua says in the chat, breaking news, the PS5 Pro, it only costs $950. We already covered our PS5 Pro segment in our topic of the show, but yes, it's going to be a lot of money. A lot of money. All right. Moving on, Gage, sad to tell you, State of Decay 2's updates have come to an end. Finally, like that game's been supported for a long time. Undead Labs hasn't specifically been working on this. They've worked with outside studio. I want to say Wushu Studios is the name of the studio. But they've been working on updates for this game for a long time since Undead Labs stopped working on it. But finally stopped working on it, and we're looking full speed ahead for State of Decay 3, Gage.
Yeah, see, this is something that I think I'm not that sad about. I think this is exciting. This means that we're full steam ahead, like you said, on State of Decay 3. And if anything, all this does is remind me of the incredible amount of support that State of Decay 2 got, which is, to me, just a good thing to look forward to, right? So if we can get that same level of support for State of Decay 3, and if State of Decay 3 launches with the amount of improvements that we're hoping that we will get from just another entry in the franchise, I'm excited, man. Very excited.
That game will come out here in a couple of years. Just kidding. All right. Moving on. Warner Brothers is officially prioritizing a sequel to Hogwarts Legacy. Of course, the original Hogwarts Legacy has sold over 24 million copies since going on sale in February of 2023, generating over $1 billion in revenue. Insane. So obviously, makes sense that they're prioritizing a sequel there.
A smart decision, based on how their studio has been trending these last couple of weeks.
True.
But who's to say this comes out? Hopefully it does.
Yeah, Avalanche cooked with that game. I think they did a good job with it. All right. Moving on. The future of Destiny has been outlined, at least the next couple years or so. We got an announcement that there is a Codename Apollo expansion coming this summer. Or, I'm sorry, not this summer. We're in the summer. Summer 2025. They announced new plans that essentially they're going to keep supporting Destiny 2 with 2 expansions per year and 4 major updates per year. So summer 2025, you'll have an expansion codename Apollo. Winter 2025, you'll have an expansion codename Behemoth. And then there will be updates in every major what am I looking for? Summer, fall,
Season.
Thank you, Jesus. I couldn't think of season. Jeez. Summer 2025, fall 2025, winter 2025, spring 2025. There will all be major updates. So I guess we'll see what happens. I guess this is on the back of them essentially canceling Destiny 3 and just pivoting to continuing to support Destiny 2.
Yeah, I'm of two opinions on this, where I'm excited that they're doing more, but I'm also scared that they're doing more. Whereas, like, this seems like it's a lot. This seems like a lot. I with like how Final Shape turned out, and with them just doing more expansions in a year instead of taking more time to like polish that sort of stuff, scares me a bit. But this, at the same time, being a fan, it's exciting that updates will be more frequent, and hopefully they're able to stay on top of it. And it's all exciting, which is impossible, but you could only hope. But yeah, I'm excited for players that are still playing this game.
Yeah.
I am definitely more from the sideline looking in, like, wow, I remember Destiny. That was a good time. And I like checking in and seeing how everything's doing, but I'm not actively playing. But it's cool to see that they did the 10-year thing. They did it.
True.
Good for them. That's awesome. And the fact that they're continuing with that is impressive. So good for them. I hope they can stick the landing whenever the end does come, because I thought it was Final Shape. Apparently not. Which is good, because that means they have another chance to end it with a bang whenever that does come. But yeah.
Yeah, I kind of feel like you're saying, with it being more frequent, it kind of feels like they're going back to like the original Destiny's expansions, like,
with
House of
Codezen.
Wolves, and and kind of making them a bit smaller experiences, not like touching every single piece of the game. It kind of feels like that kind of feeling, almost as though like to hold Destiny fans over until they eventually maybe can make a new mainline game, is what it feels like to me.
Yeah, which could work. Which
For sure.
I hope it does. Yeah, because a lot of fans are nostalgic for that time, even though that time technically was not better than the time that we're in. So getting that amount of content might be good for the player base. And it's something that they complain about a lot, not count time droughts and all that. So yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, our next quick bite. Black Ops 6 beta is the largest beta in COD history. We have set records. Me, Christian, and Gage, we did it single-handedly by logging in. Right, Gage?
We did.
It is number one in total hours played, total hours played, total players, number one in play time per player, number one in most matches played, which is kind of crazy, actually. I guess people are very much enjoying it.
I guess so. I am not the notice. I didn't. I hated it. This. I hope this does terribly so I can get points.
Yeah, you're in trouble, bro.
I'm scared.
We'll talk about that here in a minute when we get to Fantasy Critic. We'll talk about it. Christian says bad maps in the chat.
Oh,
there are some
good.
There are some
Disagree.
bad maps. There's some bad maps, but I feel like there's some good ones too. All right. Moving on. Microsoft has announced that they are returning to Tokyo Game Show this year. Of course, on the back of them returning to Gamescom this year as well, which apparently they had a major major booth at Gamescom this year with a lot of shit going on. So wonder if they'll do the same thing with Tokyo Game Show. That'll be interesting. They say they have an exciting lineup of games from third-party partners, primarily based in Japan and across Asia, including games coming to Game Pass. So I would be willing to bet we get either Final Fantasy 16 or Final Fantasy 7, the first one, whatever the fuck it's called, remake. I think one of those two. I don't know which one. I would bet probably Final Fantasy 16 because there may be something with the remake until they finish it. that they can't send it elsewhere. I don't know.
Mm,
So I would bet one of those will be announced coming to Xbox at TGS.
yeah, I would think 16 to. I hope, because I would think so. Maybe someday, like you said, when they're done all three of the games, they just release all three on Xbox at a later date.
For sure.
But yeah, I'm excited. That's good. Last year, I think it was this time that we got the what was it? The Atlas game, the Persona
Oh yeah.
announcements coming to Game Pass, and the other one I'm forgetting the name. But I'm glad that they're making more partnerships over there. We've talked about it before that they're lacking compared to Sony and of course Nintendo being both of them are Japanese.
Right.
So yeah, it's good all around.
Hell yeah. Another thing good all around is our next quick bite. I just wanted to throw it in here because I bought a t-shirt from this every year because I think it's awesome. Coalition is continuing their partnership with Crisis Text Line and now Discord for the third year of their Never Fight Alone program in honor of Suicide Prevention Month. They have a hoodie as well as a t-shirt that you can buy in their shop. 100% of the profits from this goes directly to them, to Crisis Text Line. And also, they also have been very big proponents of it in terms of their game development, as they've announced that each year they donate 1% of all net revenue across Gears of War games and merchandise, not this merchandise because this is 100%, to our partners working to prevent suicide and combat loneliness, which is really cool. 1% of all of their net sales for Gears of War is pretty cool to donate this and help a major issue.
Love to see it.
Hell yeah.
This is good stuff. This is really good stuff. I like this.
And our final quick bite. Xbox has announced that friend requests are returning. We're getting them back. You will be able to send, accept, or delete friend requests in addition to following or being followed by others. They're testing currently with Xbox insiders right now. That's me. And look forward to sharing more later this year on a full rollout. Essentially, it sounds like you're basically going to have two different lists now. You'll have one group of people that are just following you and one group of people that are your friends, ones that you have to actually accept. They say if someone's following you and you're following them back, those people will automatically already be considered friends since you've followed each other back in this new program. So more ways to connect to people, and I'm sure this will help out like streamers and stuff like that.
Right.
I was so confused at first when it said friend requests are coming back. I was like, where did they go? But yeah, I'm remembering now what Xbox does, because there was a couple of, like you said, streamers that I follow and I see what they're playing, but they're not friends with me.
Right.
But yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
No, you can just say that you're friends with them, bro, and then
I play with Tyson every weekend.
You have your friends over, and you're like, yeah, look at all these cool people that I know.
With Barack Obama.
What if he games? That'd be sick.
That'd be cool. I wonder where he plays.
All right. Moving into our only street meat item. Let's run it on over. Gage pasted it in here. Is it happening? White Sands Codename Project is showing up on VA Resume?
Voice actor's resume.
Oh, voice actor's resume. Okay. And what is this prompting, Gage?
If you click the article, there should be something highlighted there, which is the TLDR.
The TLDR. Oh, okay. The reason people are... Oh, wait. Okay. The voice actor in question is Natasha Chandel, whose credits include Starfield and Call of Duty Vanguard. The reason people are linking her TBA White Sands project to Half-Life, other than it being a Valve gig, is that White Sands is a U.S. military base in New Mexico, which is also the in-game location of Half-Life's Black Mesa laboratory. So, Half-Life 3? Question mark?
Half-Life 3 confirmed? I see stuff like this and I get excited because Valve is known for Steam, I think, a lot of like contemporarily, and I think rightfully so. Steam's a pretty fantastic service. But people forget that Valve is like also one of the cutting edge video game studios. I guess they've got multiple studios under them now because they're so big. But you know what I'm saying? They used to be a name in the space for like innovation and stuff like that. And they took a long break off. They came back with Half-Life Alyx, and to me personally, as somebody who's played quite a bit of that game, they kind of were. I played that game and I was like, oh yeah, this is Valve. Like, this is what they can do. I thought Half-Life Alyx for the VR genre was pretty fucking incredible. And so whenever I see hints and stuff like this, I'm always hopeful. I would love to see Valve come back and to start taking swings. Obviously, we've talked about it on the show before, but they've got Deadlock spinning up now, which is getting a lot of hype. So could this be the return of Valve as a video game producer and developer as well as a sort of Steam thing? I hope so, personally.
Heck yeah. That'd be cool. Christian says, we were just talking about Half-Life the other night, Gage, when I was clutching and you were spectating.
Really? This guy has to come in and say this now. Aren't you supposed to be having dinner with your lady?
That's true. That's true.
How does she feel that you're spending time shit-talking me instead of enjoying a succulent Chinese meal? Come on.
Now, we move into the important stuff. The Fantasy Critic check-in, guys. This is interesting. We've got a lot of developments here. A few games released. And I just want to say, Gage, Christian and I talked about this last week, but I want to give you props. You got 12 points with Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. Let's go. Yeah. You're on the board with double-digit 20s. Boom.
Congrats.
Somehow none of this feels genuine at all.
Very genuine. Very genuine. As genuine as I am to say I'm very excited that Squirrel with a Gun has -5 row.
God damn it all. Why did I do that?
It was a mistake.
I saw one video on YouTube saying this could be fun, and I was like, yeah, it could. And I scrapped it. Oh my god.
Incredible. But the big one this week, Astrobot has released, and unfortunately, Christian got this game, and he has a whopping 30 points off of 95 open critic score. My God. 30 points.
Insane.
Insane. And one more game that released, Persona 3 Reload Episode Aegis. The Answer, I drafted it on Ro's recommendation. It got me 9 points.
God damn it.
Got me 9. I'll take it.
I think Christian, with his Astrobot score, that might be the single highest score we've had in our league.
I had
netting 30 points.
Oh, Shadow of the Erdtree was only 28. It might be.
I think it is. I think that's the record right now. That's insane.
It is insane. But we might have thoughts, or I might have thoughts here in a little bit about that.
Okay.
League history, do we have anything new here? No, not since last week. We talked about your games last week, Gage, that you picked up: Assassin's Creed Shadows, Rift of the Necrodancer, and Silent Hill 2 Remake. And then Ro picked up A Quiet Place: The Road Ahead as a counter pick to you, which is incredible because you look at Gage's list and it's just filled with counter picks.
Listen. I am being targeted.
You have 3 counter picks right now, and that's with 2 games that you dropped that I counter picked.
It's okay because Hollow Knight Silk Song will be shadow dropped at the Game Awards, and everything will be fine, and everything will work out.
Yeah, we'll see.
See.
I don't feel good about that one.
Even if that does come out and it gets 100,
Well,
Gage
what do you
in.
say right now?
Incredible, bro.
you'll be at like 40. You'll be 60.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh gosh.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. Oh, I forgot to read out everyone's position too.
Oh yeah, there you go. Do it. Go ahead.
In first place is of course Christian. Now he has 139 points after Astrobot. He is the clear number 1. He's had 10 games release. In second place, we have a new second place person, and that is me with 115 points. And I only have 9 games released, so I got 1 extra behind Christian and you, Ro. You both have 10. I'm hoping to get a lot of points on that one that I make up with, And then, Ro, you have 109 points in third place. You have, of course, 10 games released as well. And Gage is sitting there with 29 points. He's had 2 games released. Sorry, Gage. Everyone press F to pay their respects to Gage's team. All right. Moving in to what Christian or Keurig actually typed F in the chat. Incredible. Oh, that's awesome. All right. Moving into what you got for me. I've played the Black Ops 6 beta some more. The open beta, had a ton more fun with that. I genuinely have not had this much fun with the normal multiplayer from Call of Duty in a long time, and have been having a bunch of fun with the boys with it. So I'm excited for Black Ops 6 and play some zombies, have some good times there. But the more important game, I'm adding another game to my backlog because I've started another video game, guys. I played 4 or 5 hours of Astrobot, and I fucking really like this game. It is great. It's very, for me, I loved Astro's Playroom. I thought it was a great game. Like, I thought it deserved even, I would have paid $30, $40 for that, even though it was a shorter experience. And Astrobot is very much taking that and one-upping that, so to speak. Like, I very much am enjoying that. And, like, it still amazes me that Team Asobi is pretty much the only developer that really makes great use of the DualSense capabilities with the haptics and such. It feels really good to play. It's really fun. And there's a lot of cool references. I don't get all of the references because I haven't been with PlayStation since day one. I joined during PS3 era. So I do miss some references. But for the most part, it's just a really fun game. One comparison I did want to make, though, I really feel like this game, like, it's a really great game. So this isn't a negative towards it. I'll explain in a second. I feel like Astrobot is to video games what the Mario movie is to movies. Like, that movie, the parts that were so great were the references and the fan patronage and, like, just making it feel very much itself. And, like, I feel like Astrobot does that very well. Like, that is what makes me love this game so much. The charm, the gameplay, it's really great. I love Astrobot. Awesome. I have one complaint from the game, and it is such a nitpicky thing, but, like, why can I not fucking change the sensitivity of the camera? That drives me insane. I can't. There's no options whatsoever, so I can't change the sensitivity when I'm turning the right stick, and that bothers me a little bit because it feels slow to me. Like, I like to move quicker than that, my camera anyways. So, very, very excited to play more of this. I knew this was going to get Christian. Christian said derogatory comparison, comparing it to the Mario movie. Like I said, I like the Mario movie, so it's not a.
I did too. I don't know why Christian's being a hater.
Yeah, it's just I think that the comparisons are similar, is what I was trying to get at, but very much enjoying it. So, Ro, what you got for me? Anything?
No, nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing. Well, I did. I played. I played some more Roblox games with my girlfriend.
Hell yeah!
But that's about it. That's about it. No. No. I was about to say real games, but that's not.
Hey,
true.
that still counts.
They're fun. They're fun. But yeah, I haven't played anything on my PlayStation or Switch or anything like that. But
totally fair. Totally fair. What's your favorite
Roblox game?
Yeah.
There was a game called Expedition Antarctica, where it's like an obstacle course sort of thing, where you're trying to get to the end of this expedition. You're like in this snowy place, and it's multiplayer, like it's in a populated world, so you're seeing other people trying to get to the finish line as well, but it's not cooperative. So you're like hopping over icebergs and climbing mountains. They're like, it's fun. I enjoyed that. I didn't make it to the end. It's actually super hard, especially for someone who doesn't play with mouse and keyboard. But yeah, it's fun. I liked it. No?
Interesting. I'm assuming your girlfriend likes it as well.
She loves Roblox. Yeah, she's every day she's playing like a new. It feels like, telling me about it, and if it's good, then we hop on together and give it a shot.
Hell yeah. Very cool. Gage, what you got for me?
Black Ops 6.
Nice.
Black Ops 6, Black Ops 6, Black Ops 6. I want to echo what you said in that I haven't had this much fun in a long time. Not as long as it feels. It feels like it's been a lot longer, but when I really think back to it, I had a lot of fun in Modern Warfare 2 DMZ. But in terms of standard multiplayer modes, yes. At one point over the weekend, we managed to get a 6-stack going, which is cool. We had an entire team filled with people that we know and that we're friends with and hanging on the Discord. It was a great time. The game feels solid. The Omni movement is a lot better than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be annoying and clunky, but it's really quite smooth and fun. And I think their recent announcement that they're not doing any early access, that they're just doing one big global launch, I think while it's still being Call of Duty and it still has to hit certain metrics and it still has to be, this sort of yearly product, I think Treyarch is kind of doing the best they can with this one. And I'm very excited to jump into it again with the boys. I had a great time. And then I've played another game, but I'm going to wait to talk about that until Christian is back.
That's true. We waited. We were going to talk last week, and then Christian's like, we should wait. I was like, yeah. Because I have thoughts on that game, too.
I can't wait to get into it. I can't wait.
I can't wait to get in. Okay. Oh, I have to read this comment. I missed this comment from Christian. Christian said, Gage might as well be spectating in fantasy draft too.
No, you didn't have to read that comment. I gotta. 1 second. There's a comment I gotta read. Listen. Don't enable him.
Christian said, "How do you feel about them taking Sledgehammer's maps for the last content update from Modern Warfare 3?"
I don't know what that means.
I don't either. Are they putting Sledgehammer's maps into Black Ops 6? Question mark. I don't know. I don't know what he means by that.
The last content update from Modern Warfare 3. So maps that were made for Modern Warfare 3 are being shuffled and delayed to Black Ops, maybe? I hadn't heard about that. I think that might be a rumor, because Black Ops, the marketing has been saying, 16 maps at launch for a while.
Interesting.
A chunk of Black Ops 6 maps were taken by Treyarch from Sledge. If that's true, I don't know. I don't care. For a while now, it seems like Call of Duty has been a pretty collaborative effort between all the studios.
Right.
So The distinction to me is more so what's the narrative, what's the time setting of the game that the main studio has kind of taken charge on, and everything else is just kind of a collaborative effort.
Well,
But
and this says post-launch seasons, so it's at launch it'll be Treyarch's maps. From what I'm
Right.
reading from Charlie Intel, it's saying they've took Sledgehammer Games maps for post-launch seasons. So
okay.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I didn't mind the maps as much as Christian did. There's obviously with Call of Duty, there's always hit and miss maps, but they weren't sticking out to me. Of most of the games I played, I was having fun.
Can I just say, one of the I just did Christian's line. One of the dumbest things I've ever seen. This kind of drives me insane. IGN posted Call of Duty Black Ops 6 multiplayer review in progress, and then they posted their impressions of the beta. Why are we reviewing? This isn't a review in progress. This is the beta. What?
It's very strange. That is very strange.
I'm assuming they're going to update this like when the game launches, but like why would you I know why they're doing it for SEO to get basically the first results, but it's I don't know, that's kind of scummy. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Anyways. Anywho, all right. Anything else, guys, before we close out the show?
Not for me.
Okay.
Arcane Season 2. That's it. That's just the comment.
That's the comment. Arcane season.
That's the comment. Anything else? Anything else on your mind? Arcane Season 2, always.
Everyone go watch Arcane Season 2 in November.
Everyone go watch exactly one half of the trailer. The minute mark is such a good point to stop.
What does
Ro,
Ro
you were so brilliant for that.
I just saw something online. I don't know if you may have talked about it. I just zoned out. But GameStop is offering like $410 like trade-in value if you trade in your PS5 for a PS5 Pro.
Oh wow!
It's like a promo going on. It looks like. Yeah.
$410. That's actually pretty.
In the US. Yeah.
That's pretty good. Well, I'm guessing the disk drive version because that would be more.
I guess so. Yeah, the physical white PS5. The
Gotcha.
original
What?
one. Yeah.
What do new PS5s go for? Because what are
500.
they planning?
Yeah, that's.
So what are they planning to sell these used PS5s that they're getting?
I don't know.
GameStop. That is an uncharacteristically good deal, and I don't think you thought it through.
I would bet they probably use it to bundle. Is my bet. Like bundle a bunch of games, like used games and such. I don't know.
Interesting. That's still a pretty razor thin margin.
It is.
If
Yeah.
a brand new one's going for 500,
True.
and we'll give you 410 for your used PS5. Very interesting.
310 here, apparently.
Oh wow. So it
Which
costs
it's
more.
crazy.
Yeah, it costs more there, but they're gonna give you less.
God, why
What
does
the
it suck
fuck?
so bad?
It's incredible. Kirik, yes, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you joining us in the chat, as well as everyone else live in the chat and on YouTube and Twitch, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. Thank you, Ro. Thank you, Gage. Thank you, Christian, in the chat. Thank you, Kirik, in the chat. Thank you, everyone in the chat. There was a bunch of people talking to us today. Thank you. I am Daniel, and this has been Podcast PXN, and we are out. Much love, and keep on gaming.
See ya.
Adios.